All right, I see you. CLX. Oh shoot.
Forget something?
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Okay. You're in. Okay. All right. Um. So this is the first time I'm actually doing a stream, so I don't know if it's. I think it's broadcasting YouTube because I see a little YouTube icon near my profile.
Yeah. Yeah, the live button thing is done and the clock is ticking.
All right. Well. Anyway, welcome to the very first episode of the Southpaw Sweet Spot podcast. I'm your host, Southpaw, and I am with CLXCool. Introduce yourself.
My name's CLXCool. I am a hobbyist cartoonist who draws stuff for Twitter and Newgrounds.
All right, so today's topic is of the lost Disney Plus program of the adaptation of Kingdom Keepers from that was supposed to be directed by Kevin Smith. And I honestly think that this is super interesting. Like, what are your thoughts about it?
I actually heard about this particular project that Kevin Smith mentioned because it was one of those things that is one of those things that explores with Disney stuff that no one else has heard about in a while. Like, and when I mean a while, I mean like nobody has heard it in years. So it's actually interesting to see Kevin Smith doing something for Disney, while at the same time, Disney's excuse for pulling the plug on it is rather stupid, personally.
Yeah, like literally what I heard was that there was too much Disney, and so that's why he had to cancel it. I don't know. That's what I heard.
Well, it's that's to be the most ridiculous excuse I've ever seen. I mean, like the books take place in the Disney park, so of course there's going to be some Disney stuff in it. What else
I
can
meant,
you expect?
I meant like I, I don't know why. I literally just read like the synopsis, and I guess yeah, you're kind of right. I have no idea why they unplugged the that topic because I really liked it. I thought it was decent. Excuse me.
I mean, if there is enough demand, maybe someone would just say, "Okay, we screwed up. We'll bring it back in production." But those take miracles.
Yeah, like there has to be a lot of uproar for it to be actually successful, which I don't really see anything from it so far. So maybe the idea is just dead. I don't know. All I know is that Kevin Smith, I think he's already come to terms with it.
Well, at least that's good for him, I guess.
Yeah, like it's pretty funny. Like I was watching his podcast thing when he was talking about it, and he said, I mean, he admitted that people won't like it because it's his adaptation, not like the original authors, which I can respect that.
I never read the books, so I can't comment much about what I'm going to get myself into if I even read them.
Yeah, me either. I literally just read the synopsis on Wikipedia, and that's about it.
There was a
Oh,
similar there was a similar project that Disney was grinding at one point, which I wouldn't be surprised if they canceled it for similar reasons. Uh, they were going to make a movie based off of the Magical Kingdom.
oh, was it now?
Yeah, you know how like made movies based off of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride and the Haunted Mansion ride.
I think so.
That was one of those movies that they were going to do, except they had trouble finding a perfect script for it. Everything that was coming out of it, some from what I've gathered so far, was basically a compare. a Disney version of the Night of the Museum movies. When nobody's around, the Disney characters come to life.
Yeah, that's what I was getting too. I was getting like heavy Night of the Museum vibes from uh this, which I thought was pretty funny because it's almost like the idea is the same. It's just that it went at it a different way because they start talking about like time travel, and then there's like half fairy, half human creature, something like that. It is weird.
Honestly, I don't have any hope for this particular project coming back because it's probably gone in the way of the dodo. But I still hear that Disney is still trying to get that Jungle Cruise movie going.
Wait, what Jungle Cruise movie? I am way out of the whack with that.
You never heard of the Jungle Cruise ride?
No, I've heard of the ride. I didn't know they were making a movie off of it.
Well, it was one of those things that was announced after the success of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. It was supposed to come out this year, but thanks to COVID, it's pushed to next year.
Not surprising. Like half the movies of this year are getting pushed back. So this ain't really that surprising to me. But
I wouldn't be
yeah, it's
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the movie would ended up its way on Disney Plus by now. If it is finished, that is, if it is.
yeah, it's just I don't for I don't know. Kevin Smith's a interesting choice though, because the only other thing I know him from was of his horror movie Tusk. You ever heard of Tusk?
I heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, me either. All I heard was that it had a weird concept, and apparently he got Johnny Depp in the movie, which I thought was impressive. But yeah, it's I don't know. He could have pulled it off. I'm not sure, but it's just funny just to him on a project like that, which supposedly was gonna be one of the first programs on Disney Plus, which I thought would have been interesting.
I only know Kevin Smith for two things: Clerks and Mallrats.
I mean, I know him from. I didn't know he. I knew him from Mallrats. I knew him from Jane Silent Bob, which I think it's a movie. I've heard it bounce around a couple of times.
Yeah,
All I know is that
it's a movie.
okay, okay, that's great. But all I know is that he's a director. He's been everywhere pretty much. He knows the business. Actually, about it, something that's interesting was that the technology that was used in the Mandalorian for their backgrounds was supposed to be used in Kingdom Keepers. So in a way, it sort of has like excuse me, it sort of has like a successor in that.
I'm actually even curious if anything was done in terms of footage.
I'm guessing not. I don't know if anything's over there. I think all I know is that I don't know. Maybe Kevin Smith has a script or something. I'm not sure. I can't find any footage of it.
Well, the thing is, if the show was going to be made with the technology that was used in The Mandalorian, then chances are it probably would have been slick looking.
Yeah, I imagine. Like I can imagine would have been fun seeing all these Disney characters with that technology. Also, here's something else I found out. Apparently, Captain Hook was supposed to be played by because Captain Hook was one of the main villains in that. He was like one of the overtakers or whatever. He was supposed to be in that, and he was supposed to be played by Russell Brand, which I think is kind of perfect for him, to be honest.
Well, to be fair, he kind of looks like Hook, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking of. And if I'm correct, let me look this up. I think he Captain Hook in like a play of Peter Pan or something like that.
Did he? Interesting.
Uh, no, he was. No, he wasn't. Well, he was fan cast, but not like an actual cast. So their answers our question.
Crud.
Yeah, this is it's pretty sad, but or it's sad that this didn't get made, but um yeah, it's pretty sad it was never made because I could have totally seen him as Captain Hook.
So the Disney characters such as Hook were going to be done with by live action guys.
I guess so because there was all only things I can only main villains I can remember was that there was Captain Hook and Maleficent was the main villain, which all right, I kind of get it. Because in the books, apparently she dies by the hands of one of the main characters, and she comes back in like the secret ever, which is like malformed or something like that. I
You
don't know. It
you
was
you
really
you mean she comes back in her dragon form?
not a dragon. It didn't say a dragon form. It just says she just came like malformed, sort of messed up.
You're
But
stacking sauce.
wait, what?
You're being a bit staticky.
Oh, I do not know that from my end. But I don't know. From what I read on it, it was it said that Maleficent comes back, but she's like melted and malformed, all gross looking. And I don't know. I would have liked to see that. Maybe they could have done something with it.
Well, I guess that was probably one of the things that would have likely helped put the axe in it. They don't want I see a grotesque looking thing on a Disney product.
Well, I mean, they've had like worse on Disney.
I
Um,
I know.
well, maybe it was a good idea to like scrap that. I if
No, I
they're
mean
they're
no, no, I mean like I mean in terms of what Disney does and doesn't allow for their products, it's just like okay, you can allow one thing to happen, but you can't let someone else do something similar, but with more of a punch to it. That's a little silly.
yeah, Disney's the type of company that like plays it safe a little bit. Every
A little
time,
a little too much, if you ask me.
oh yeah, a little too much. Like they want to acknowledge their own stuff, but when someone else does it, then they gotta like give you the axe.
Yeesh. Now I know how Warren Spector felt when he was doing Epic Mickey.
Yeah, like I like the concept of Epic Mickey. It's just that I wish there was more to it. Well, I wish there was like more to it than just a video game because that could have been a really great return for the character. It's just
You can blame Disney's marketing for putting the second game out at the same time as a new Call of Duty game that came out around the same time.
yeah, that'll kill you. Like that will kill you.
Well, if rumors are true, and I hope they are, that there is talk of how the game is getting the remastered treatment similar to what Crash Bandicoot and Spyro got, maybe if that does well enough in terms of money, maybe the series could come back. Who knows?
Yeah, I remember you mentioning about that like a couple of streams ago when we were on a Slim stream. But yeah, I just wanted to be on something other than like a Wii because if I remember correctly, that's what the other two games were on, and I literally can't play the Wii because I have one hand and the Wii requires you to hold the nunchuck with one hand and like the joystick I guess with the other hand. I don't
They
know. It's a
in the sequel they actually did port it to other consoles like the I believe it was the PS4 and the Xbox 360, which lets you play it with a controller.
okay. All right. Well,
But
okay. I'm fine.
yeah,
Okay, I'm fine with that. But it's just I like to see I like to see a reboot. I think more people need to get introduced to it more, and I think if done properly, this could uh, really give Epic Mickey the fan base it deserves.
I mean, I mean, unpopular opinion. I prefer Epic Mickey over Kingdom Hearts any day of the week.
I just prefer. Yeah, I can agree with you on that. I cannot get into Kingdom Hearts,
I
but
mean,
Epic.
don't get me wrong. It's just that Kingdom Hearts at first was good. I personally thought the way Square handled the Disney characters by bringing them to 3D was pretty impressive for its time. I mean, keep in mind, Disney was sort of like trying to do CG beforehand when they were trying to get in on it, but they were slowly not getting it right. Right, and their earlier video games kind of show but they actually went to Square, and Square said, "Okay, Disney, let us do this for you," and they actually made the characters, well, the Disney characters, more recognizable towards the eye. Like, you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see where you're getting at with that. Like they just needed help with the 3D, and then Square Enix hit them up and said, "Yeah, I'll do it for you." I
Yeah,
just feel, I just feel intimidated by Kingdom Hearts. I don't know where to start. All I know is that Mickey Mouse is in the same room as Sephiroth, and then in the middle you got like Organization 13 or something like that.
it, I mean, the weird thing was is that Disney wanted wanted this game to start with Mickey Mouse at first, but Square wanted Donald. But I I can't remember his name, but someone suggested a new character which sort of represented both sides of the companies of both Disney and Square, and they went with that, which I can say good thinking.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure some of that design for Mickey was prompted by Sora, because he's got big shoes, just like he has some aspects of Mickey, like his big shoes and all that. I think they even mentioned it before in a digital gaming episode about it once.
Yeah,
Which
yeah, they did.
yeah, that's where I heard it from. But yeah, it's just I agree with you on Epic Mickey being a little better than Kingdom Hearts, maybe because
It,
it's just this.
I mean,
Wait,
Epic Mickey made a little more sense in terms of its story. Hello?
oh yeah, oh, no, I'm still here. I'm just still trying to like,
Oh, yes.
yeah, yeah. It's just I am, um, I don't know where to start. It's just that intimidating of a series for me. Epic Mickey at least has a beginning and an end. That's it. I need to know how to. I need to know where to start, and Epic Mickey is a little more easy to start off than Kingdom Hearts is.
I mean, have you even seen the concept artwork for Epic Mickey?
Yeah, it looks terrifying.
I mean, they even had like concept artwork of Oswald being the bad guy at one point.
Oh, the Lucky Rabbit Oswald.
Yep.
I don't think that would have worked because I know he's like the sidekick to Mickey, and that bringing him back just brought the character back in general because he was super unknown at the time, and maybe he could have done something with that, but I wouldn't want to see him as the main villain.
Well, if you actually look at some of the concept art, they actually had some stuff of Oswald doing evil stuff. In fact, there was a monster blob version of Oswald just looming over Disney Castle.
Oh, because
Try
the
to
wait, sorry, I like interrupted you. What were you saying?
there's a there's a concept piece of concept artwork that has Oswald in this monster blob form, which has him as a monster looming over the Disney castle, and inside him has a various amount of Disney characters that he's holding for hostage.
Oh, that sounds pretty crazy now that you think about it. The only boss I know about was like the clock tower, and I know about the clock tower was that when you're fighting it, because it already plays a creepy version of It's a Small World. Apparently, there's a track which has children singing it, which just made it even more creepier.
Oh my lord, the rhyme was already creepy enough as it is. That would have made it at least 10 times more creepy.
Yeah, okay, ignore that. Uh, that car just passing by. Uh, just yeah, I don't. Epic Mickey's a pretty cool concept. I need to play the games sometime.
It's kind of a shame that we never did get that animated movie of it, though.
I would have. Oh, I would have. I would have loved to see an animated movie of it. I think it could have been a great return to Mickey, where instead of him as like just like the mascot of Disney, he actually has a personality, and it would also be a good homage to like his actual films in general.
I'm yeah, yeah. I mean, like Warren Spector did try pitching a Epic Mickey film, but it never got off the drawing board.
Tis a shame, but what are you gonna do? That's just how things work, I guess.
I mean, if you actually think about it, video game movies at the time were not in the best condition.
Yeah, and they haven't been for like a really long while. I remember I think it stopped when Warcraft came out, and it became like the highest grossing movie of that genre. I think something
Except,
like
except there is only one downside to that. Fans still hated Warcraft.
yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. I didn't hear anything good about it other than that. All I just know is that it's the highest grossing movie that was based off a video game.
Yeah, this is one of those rare cases where the fans got curious and they ended up disappointed and didn't get their money back.
Oh, yeah. But I'll give it to them. The concept of Epic Mickey and giving Mickey a little bit more edge is a lot better than Lunatics. Remember
Oh
Lunatics?
dear Lord. I never did saw Lunatics. I know a few people who worked on Lunatics, but it's one of those things that we go like, don't talk about that.
Yeah, it's like whose thought was it to make a show about the Looney Tunes and just have them and just say, hey, what if Looney Tunes and Power Rangers combine, but we don't bring like we don't have like the two benefits from those shows. Am I right?
To be fair, from what I've even saw in terms of screenshots, it just reeked of, yeah, we're being edgy. Deal with it, bitch.
It,
Ugh.
it's like Rocket Power, except Rocket Power kind of takes pride in, except Rocket Power's original, and it sort of takes pride in what it is. Luke's is just trying to be cool for the, not even for the sake of it, it's just trying to look cool to look good in front of its peers. It's really sad, and I'm glad they forgot about it. I really am.
The only thing that you ever get about of mentioning in terms of lunatics is whenever it gets made fun of by any of the recent Warner Bros. Stuff cartoons.
Yeah, I get a like that, and I think Animaniacs, because I know there's a reboot coming out of it, and they just mentioned it, or like
I don't think Warner Bros. Doesn't hate Animaniacs. That usually there are some people I know who still talk about Animaniacs. It's just the time. If you want something that gets hated as much as um, if you want to know something that is as hated as Lunatics Unleashed, it's basically Tiny Toons Adventures that gets the most hate.
Tiny Two. Okay, I was thinking of Baby Looney Tunes for a second. Tiny Toons
But
Adventure.
Baby Looney Tunes falls in the same category as Tiny Toons as well. But Tiny Toons gets more of the we're making fun of this sort of thing, and that usually creeps up from time to time in an occasional Warner Bros. Cartoon.
Oh, hold up. Was Tiny Toons Adventures the one with like the pink bunny, something like that?
Yeah,
Because I vaguely remember. Yeah, okay, I vaguely remember something like that.
yeah,
Because
Babs and Buster Bunny.
I think I remember. But it's funny about Baby Looney Tunes because I remember it aired. I remember seeing it airing, and then later on, it aired at like what 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning, and I thought, who wakes up? This what kind of kid wakes up early just to see this? Like
They
it's
needed to
hilarious.
fill. They needed to fill in the time slot. So what else can you do?
Okay, well that makes sense. It's just I don't know. It was pretty funny. I think that's just like how to kill a show in general. just move to a time spot and where nobody's awake or nobody really is probably on a different channel and just let it die slowly. Because I think that's how the Legend of Korra died. We just threw it on Nicktoons and then that's it.
Yeah, I believe that's kind of how El Tagre died as well.
L what?
El El Tagre,
Wait, repeat that. You weren't like clear the
El
first time.
El, El Tagre, the
L
Adventures of Minnie Rivera.
oh L Tigre. Okay.
Okay, I wasn't pronouncing it right. El
Oh
Tigre. Yeah.
yeah, I thought you were saying something else, but yeah, because if I remember correctly, the finale for Legend of Korra didn't even get aired on Nicktoons too. I had to go like the website and I had to look on it online. Which, if you have to do that for a finale, you really wanted to die. It's like the equivalent of like those murder cases where the murderer stabbed the victim like 50 something times. It's like you really wanted that guy dead, huh? And they did that with Legend of Korra and El Tigre apparently.
Yeah, yeah, that is not a good way to market your shows, personally.
Oh, no, no, it's not. Like I vaguely remember LT. I vaguely remember watching LT Tigre when I was. I remember also watching the X's. Do you remember the X's?
The
It's about like
X's?
a family. Yeah, it was like a family of spies or whatever. I remember it specifically because I had like a redhead character, and one of the shots that run through my mind is the redhead character in like a room, in like a green room, and I think that's from that show, and I think it's from the X's because I've been trying to look for that for like a while now. That's the only thing that my mind can think of at the time.
I never did see it, but it didn't look appealing to me back when it was new.
Yeah, me either. It was
I
like
mean,
one of the shows.
but
Sorry.
here's an interesting tidbit for you. John Kay actually voiced a character in one of the episodes.
Of Mr. X or of El Tigre?
No, in the X's.
Oh, okay. Well, this was like pre before John K went crazy, so okay, I can let that slide.
Yeah, this was before he went nuts.
Yeah, but the cool thing about El Tigre was that the guy ended up, or the creator ended up directing the Book of Life too, which I really liked. That was a good movie.
Oh yes, that was a fun movie.
Like it's one of the only anime movies I can think of where the 3D doesn't look like just like generic Disney or Pixar or DreamWorks fare. It looks like um, the creator drew it himself, which I really liked it.
That's one of the main things on why I saw the movie. It looked different, it looked unique, and it was one of those movies that, if you think about it, it was a miracle that it even got produced at all.
Yeah, like it's funny because I think I watched that and I watched Coco, and I could see a lot of similarities between the two. It's just that I like Coco a little more than I do Book of Life, like story wise. But oh, oh, you haven't talking to know that.
Yeah, I have a dog. I have a dog. He's bonking at the motorcycles.
That's hilarious because I was talking about Coco just now, and there's a dog in that one. But yeah, they both have a similar premise where it's like main character goes in like the land of the dead. They have to like find their they have to find a way to get out and stuff like that. Only I think Coco does it a little better because they put in a lot of depth, and I really like the twist in that movie.
In terms of Coco, it's like one of the things that really kind of made it shine was the fact that the music was one of its selling points for it.
Yeah, I like what's it called? El Poco Loco, or so one of the songs where Miguel sings. That was a major earworm that got stuck in my head for a while.
I haven't watched Coco in a while, but at the time I found myself somewhat enjoying it. But I mean, I've been having a bit of a love/hate relationship with Pixar ever since John Lasseter got exposed.
Yeah, like for me, it's just Pixar has just been how to yeah, that what you just said over there, and the fact that they really haven't done anything that caught my eye because I already moved on to like other films. Like Pixar's cool. I like their older films. It's just that I wish they could do something a little new with their formula.
They're still playing it safe with the formula and what they are known for.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm very aware of that. Um Speaking of, there's another speaking about Pixar actually, this is a pretty good segue. Did you hear about the lost project called The Gigantic?
Yeah, I actually heard about that. The project was supposed to be I think it was supposed to be a Jack and a Beanstalk like story,
Yeah, it
with a
was.
but with inspiration from from no, not Rapunzel, Tangled.
I mean, yeah, kind of. But I think what happened was that they saw the success of Frozen and they're still developing it, and then they just give the axe like in 2018 or something like that, which is kind of sad because I kind of like the premise to it, where it was like this guy he finds himself atop the clouds, and this little girl giant thinks that he's a toy and has to find a way to get out. Kind of like Toy Story a little bit.
I I don't even know why they canceled it to begin with. It's they've already made a reference to it in a joke with Zootopia, if my memory is
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, I remember. That's a weird reference. Very, very untimely.
Well, that's a joke that aged poorly.
Yep, exactly. But um, it's just, like I said, it's kind of a shame that it never got made because I was reading the articles about it. They were talking about like, oh yeah, it's gonna be one of the greatest movies Pixar's ever made, and then it just never showed up. But I'm pretty sure the journalists forgot about it too because that's just their nature.
Actually, it wasn't going to be made by Pixar. It was going to be handled by the Disney studio.
Right, right, right. Okay, okay. I never mind. Okay, I forgot about that. But yeah, tis a shame that it never got made, even though there was a reference in a pre-existing film about it. I think that's pretty bogus.
Yeah, there's actually some concept artwork floating around for this that kind of shows
Yeah,
that they were going for a more fantasy approach with it.
yeah, I saw some art for that too. I could have imagined it looked like Frozen, where it's just like super detailed, but the characters just look like the same old Disney fare because that's what they look like in the concept art.
From what I've gathered, it was supposed to have a similar technique to that short Paperman, where it had that 2D approach, but it was done with CG.
Oh, that is really hard for me to picture, but I'll look that up after we're done with this. But
It's
I can
a,
imagine.
a pretty fascinating short film, if you ask me.
Oh no, there's no doubt. I'm not doubting you on that. Like, I think their shorts are a little more better than like some of the movies because I don't know. One of the only Pixar films that I got like really disappointed in is probably like The Good Dinosaur.
I never saw The Good Dinosaur. It really didn't interest me. You want to know what actually came to my mind when I saw the trailer for it?
What?
Bob Clampett's Beanie and Cecil.
Wait, Benny and Cecil?
Yeah, the Bob Clampett characters.
Hold up. Let me look this up real quick. Yeah, like this is very last minute. I was expecting to stream at like 4 o'clock in my area, but this is 4 o'clock in your area. I just thought, all right, let's give this a shot. Okay, because I watched the movie. It was like, okay, I see where you get this from. Like, I can see. Let me guess. Cecil is the dragon or the
Yeah,
sea serpent.
yeah, he's a sea serpent.
Okay, yeah, I can kind of see where you got that from. But other than the yeah, there's like nothing much that happens in the story. All I can vaguely remember is that the main character Arlo, he's called weak by like his big brother or whatever. His big brother dies, and then he finds a kid. He takes care of the kid, and I think he returns to his place for that. I don't know. It was a pretty average story, like below average, if I remember.
This sounded like this would have worked better as a short film, to be honest.
Yeah, like if you watch Ice the first Ice Age movie, it's pretty much just that, but by like Pixar, which is sad because I really like the design or the backgrounds for it. I think those are amazing looking.
Like I said, I can't comment much about the dinosaur movie because I have no interest in seeing it.
All right, well that's understandable. There's like nothing that goes on, but that I have the same problem with that movie that I do with Brave, where it had my
Oh
favorite
my
set,
god.
where it had a great setting. It just I wish it could have done more with the story.
You wanna know why it sucked?
Why?
Blame John Lasseter for sticking his nose in.
Oy.
Okay, try to imagine this. You have this Scottish warrior with elements inspired by Samurai Jack.
Uh huh.
That was basically what the premise was going to be for Brave.
Oh, really? Because the trailers they showed something completely different, and I thought Merida would use her bow like more often than just like her as like a sport than just something she has lying around. Like I thought it was a waste of my time, like seeing that in the film.
Yeah, the concept was going to be more of a fantasy inspired Samurai Jack type movie, but when it was being developed, John Lasseter sort of stepped his nose in, and this was before he got exposed, and he sort of made it more quote unquote on terms with Pixar's way, end quotes, to make it more suitable for how they do movies, and he ended up firing Brenda Chapman from the film.
I well, that just really sucks because I could totally see some old elements from like the first concept that were never used in the first one. But that's a shame. That's a real shame. Just to hear that it never got out, it never got released. Or bad choice of words. It did get released, but not the the version that Cart- Cartman wanted. Speaking of, is that what he did with Cars? Because I remember, I don't know, Cars was supposed to have a better concept. Then John Lasseter came in and he just like switched gears on it.
I have no idea about Cars. All I can tell you is that a similar situation happened between Richard Williams' A Thief and a Cobbler and Ralph Bakshi's Cool World in terms of development. What happens when you stick someone's nose, when that someone being someone who has no idea what they're doing and ruins a good project.
Yeah, it always kind of makes me a little sad because I can imagine there's an alternate universe where that never happened. That Brave is actually good, and I want to go to that universe.
I kind of wish that there was an alternate universe where there was like canceled animated movies that I was hoping that would get off the drawing board, but sadly they never did for obvious reasons. But like films like Ralph Bakshi's Bobby's Girl, Brad Bird's version of The Spirit, It, along with a few other things that I want to be in that universe right now.
But then again, that would mean that every other film that came out here just never got made, and that Pixar has a really small library. That's like the downside to that universe. I can imagine.
Well, I wouldn't know. I don't know how alternate universe work and if there's a catch or anything. Well, there's always a
I,
catch, but I don't know how it's gonna work.
yeah, I don't know either. I'm just making stuff up just to pass the time.
Hmm.
Okay, so that out of the way. Man, this got off real fast. I kind of ran out of topics to talk about. Um, what are you doing this 4th of July?
I'm just chilling. There's not much to celebrate about.
Yeah, like same here. I really can't celebrate much because of the whole uh, current pandemic going on. But yeah, I'm just staying home. I ended up drawing something earlier where it's like I drew like a Statue of Liberty as like a Gundam. That took me like a good hour. I think that was pretty. That was a pretty good use of my time.
Right now, I am. Oof, let's see what to do. What to do. Oh boy, we're out of topics. Um, so,
Cool.
while we're on the same topic of films, what do you think is gonna be like the? Oh, let me rephrase that. Do you think Illumination's movie of Mario is going to be any good?
Uh, I'm decent at best. I'm not expecting it to be like into the Spider Verse levels of good. I'm thinking it's just going to be a little. It's going to be like decent. It's like it's like I don't know. I don't know. What's a good way to describe it. It's like gas station food. It's not good, but you bought with your own money anyway, so you might as well just eat it. Like it's edible. That's what I'm thinking from it.
Well, from what I know is that Nintendo wanted to make a new Mario movie for quite some time now. It's just they needed to find the right people to do it, and it blows my mind that Illumination was one of their choices.
I mean, I could kind of if I had to choose somebody, it's either those guys or Sony Pictures, just because of how successful Spider Verse was.
Well,
But
with Sony somewhat being back on their feet, I can see that happening, but it's kind of late for that since Illumination now has the rights to it.
oh, oh yeah, yeah, I forgot. But it's gonna be interesting.
I mean, what's interesting about this is that this is the first time in ever that Nintendo has allowed an animated movie based off of their IPs, their well-known IPs, and their first time of diving into movies at all since the 1993 movie of the Mario Bros. Movie.
Yeah, speaking of, I remember there's this other script I remember reading where it's like instead of it's like they go in like this whole different world where it's like Koopa and I think Magic Koopa's in it and Yoshi's in it too, which I would have really liked. I don't know. There was like a humongous difference with that script and the script we got. I kind of would like to see that script in action. I just wanted to see how they do Yoshi.
From what I've gathered, the development behind the Mario Bros. Live action movie was a mess, which can perfectly be described as Bob Hoskins saying as an unmarried couple.
Yeah, I heard stories that John Leguizamo he'd get drunk on stage on purpose because he hated the movie so much.
Yeah, Bob Hoskins did that as well.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a funny thing to think about. But one thing, one thing I really hope they'll do about that Illumination movie is that I hope they'll get Charles Martinet. If he's not like the main voice of Mario, which I doubt, at least have him as like a cameo or whatever. I think that'd be pretty respectable.
I think you'll get your wish because that's one of the things that Nintendo wanted to be allowable.
Yeah, because he's been Mario since he got a voice, and I was thinking it'd be a disservice that they didn't do that because
If
he
if
is.
they cast someone else to do Mario, that would just be insulting to anyone who's been a fan of the series for the years.
Yeah, I totally. It's just never mind. I was gonna say what the plot was gonna be for the Mario Bros movie, but I think we can both kind of guess.
Honestly, I have no idea where it's gonna go. We have no given information on what's happening with in terms of story, but all we know is that it's still being worked on in this crazy times just from the animators' homes.
Yeah, and I respect them for that. They're still doing their work. Speaking of, I heard there was supposed to be like a Legend of Zelda or I don't know if it's a movie or not, but there was a short online, and it was animated by the same guys who did the TMNT movie from like 2007.
Oh yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, because I remember Rail Taxi did it in like his top five or like canceled shorts or whatever, and that was one of them. I don't think they did Link, to be honest with you.
To be fair, Link is well more on the lines of this thing was would have been the first step for Link being in feature film. So it's a lot to take in.
Yeah, I mean, with that design, I'm thinking to myself, it's kind of a good idea that they never did it. But yeah, it's kind of sad about like what could have been.
I personally would have settled for a TV show of Wind Waker in the same style of Samurai Jack. To be honest,
Oh yeah, I can see similarities to that. Like I see, Toon Link size, and they kind of directly remind me of like Ashi's a little bit.
yeah.
But I'm afraid with like the Legend of Zelda TV series, we're gonna think about that, like the one from the '80s
Oh
with
god, oh god.
Link, douchebag Link, and it's probably gonna like turn people's heads or something like that, which is
You mean the
yeah,
one where he actually talked to me? He said, "Excuse me, princess." That one?
yeah, where he's just like a complete punk in that one. That's what I'm afraid of. But
Oh
I don't
god.
know if Zelda were to have like a theatrical release. In my head, it looks like a Miyazaki film, and it's based off of like the first few Zelda games. Because I think there's some artwork floating around where it's like Legend of Zelda if it was done by Miyazaki, and those are great. I would have imagined a movie based off of that.
I have seen similarities between Miyazaki and Zelda, so I kind of see your points.
Oh yeah, I can kind of see that because or well the similarities between them. Speaking of, it's kind of sad. I haven't watched a Miyazaki movie.
You haven't watched the Miyazaki movie?
Like I want to, I can't find it because I mean the only things I know, or I mean the only things I did have was that my sister had like an art book of that, and I read through that a couple of times. And other than that, I just have respect for the guy in general. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying I just want to see one of his films.
It's, if you really want to get a taste of what Hayao Miyazaki's stuff is like, I suggest you watch. Um, let's see. Let me see if I can remember the name. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie right now. Ah, here it is. The Castle of Caligostro.
Oh, the Lupin, the third one.
Yes,
Because I kind of know what you're talking about. Like it's pretty crazy that they gave him the rights, or the guys who made Lupin the rights to do that. Because I think that's what they did for Howl's Moving Castle too.
honestly, that's one of the better Lupin films I've seen so far, and it's actually one of the first things that Miyazaki directed. And normally, whenever someone directs their own first feature film, it usually depends on having a hit or miss audience. But this surprisingly is a home run for a feature film in someone's first feature.
Yeah, that was been like amazing for him back in the day. But yeah. Okay. Going back to the topic of like the Zelda Miyazaki comparison, I can kind of see that since both of them sort of have like flying in some parts. I don't know how to describe it because I'm like in almost every Legend of Zelda, there's like an element of flying, and so does everything of Miyazaki. There's always an element of flying.
I honestly think that it's probably coincidence. I know that that in the I believe it was a link to the past. You can transport yourself from area to area with one of the birds.
Okay. Oh yeah, that sounds like Miyazaki would do. Um, Here's something funny about Zelda. Apparently, there were like one of them was just starting to come out. Like nobody knew what gender Link was at the time. Nobody knew that Link was a guy. So in some magazines, they would have him as like a girl.
There's actually someone actually drew a mag. There's a Japanese magazine that has Link as a girl, and this was drawn by mistake by someone who wasn't informed.
Hold on, let me look that up because I know what you're talking about. Trust me,
It
I
came it came out back when the very first Zelda game was announced, and I gotta say it's nicely done. I might say.
yeah, it was pretty okay. Shonen Captain is apparently the magazine that did Link as a girl. I mean, I don't blame him. Oh wow, actually, she doesn't look that bad. I could have honestly seen Link as a girl if that was what Nintendo was going for.
No, no, Link was always a guy, but if people mistook that for Zelda, then yeah, I
I
can
mean,
understand why.
well, it's kind of funny because it sort of predicted the future. Because I know in Hyrule Warriors, there's a version of Link where where he was a girl, where it was like a character of that you could play as. So in a way, they were kind of right. But yeah, it was pretty funny.
Who'd have thunk?
Yeah. Speaking of, I remember playing Majora's Mask when I was little. I It wasn't my game; it was my brother's game. I remember being like a little bit kind of mad that Zelda didn't have like a bigger presence. So I was thinking, oh, Zelda's in the title; she must have a presence in the game. Nah, she's just in. She's only there when Link needs to remember the Song of Time, and like the first time you go through the third day, and need to go back, and then he has a flashback, and there's Kid Zelda just chilling with you.
I mean, like that didn't click on to me until I was in my teen years, and was like, okay, Zelda, what the hell are you doing when Link's in a different timeline?
Like it's kind of sad because this was after, or I think, yeah, this is after Ocarina of Time,
Yeah,
and
yeah, it takes place after Ocarina of Time.
and eventually Link dies and becomes a hero shade because from what I heard, Link uses like the Fierce Deity mask and like the truth and the Lens of Truth and then like the Mirror Shield to like find his way out, but he couldn't find his way out and he died. And you can still kind of see those motifs in like the hero shade, where he has one eye. He has like he looks like the Fierce Deity a bit, and he's got a like a sort of roundish looking shield that is similar to the Mirror Shield. But yeah, I really didn't see that when I was growing up, like playing it the first time.
While we're on Zelda, it's like there are so many things that you can pick up when you're an adult in Zelda in terms of what goes on.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's like the same thing with Earthbound, where it's like you play as a well, not Earthbound. That's a kind of like with SpongeBob, where it's like you watch as a kid, you think it's funny, and then you watch a little more, and you get like the behind scene gags with it. You kind of get the same thing with Zelda, but in like a different way. Because when I was playing Majora's Mask, there was always something. I always thought there was something a little more with it, like how in Icona Castle, like how in Icona Castle, if you put on like I think the Captain's Mask or whatever, they start. But either the Captain's Mask or the Gipto Mask, the Red Dead start dancing, and apparently they're supposed to be like the dance troupe, but they're all dead now. I thought it was pretty cool.
I actually thought that was a reference to Michael Jackson's Thriller, but it turns out, if I'm correct about this, that it was a reference to how they marketed Zelda in Japan.
Oh, that's a weird reference. I never got that, but yeah, out of all the areas in that game, I thought either Icona Canyon or the water area were kind of creepy. Probably the water area because it looks pristine, and then you go deeper, and then there's something going on. There's something dark going on down there.
It's the ocean, but yeah, it's not Jaws that's in the waters that's creepy. It's something else.
Yeah, it's you don't know what's gonna get you down there. The One of the cooler parts I liked about the remake is that they made the bosses a little harder because they have actual weak spots now. They made them a lot harder
Yeah,
because
that
I
was my
remember
only that was my only problem with the original, was that they were too easy.
because
E-
I sorry, you can go ahead. I interrupted you.
Well, the Majoran Mask bosses are wonderfully designed. The way you fight them is kind of an easy. It's child's play.
Yeah, because I noticed when I was growing up is that every boss except the first one had you use a mask, like how God made you use a Goron mask, Georg made you use the Zora mask, and the Twin Moles had or you had to use a Giant's mask. Adol is the only one in the game that doesn't make you do the Deku mask, except in the remake where you turn to a Deku and you drop bombs on him on his weak spot on top of his head, and then you attack him with Link. I thought it was really cool.
I kind of wonder if that was sort of considered for the original, but they couldn't fit that in because of the N64 software.
I don't know. It's like if they really did, then I think they would have noticed it earlier when they were doing Ocarina of Time because that was like the first jump into 3D for them. I don't know. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Speaking of 3D, and while we're on the topic of Nintendo, was there any particular Nintendo IP you want to see Nintendo go back to?
That's a good question. What's one game that I never see more often? I was gonna say Bomberman, but that's not Nintendo. Um, shoot, was Bubblebot? Whoa, my voice got hoarse really quickly. Was Bubblebot Nintendo?
How do you spell that?
Bubblebop, B
Oh,
or
Bubble Bop. Oh no, you mean Bubble Bobble.
Bubble? Yeah, that one. It's either that or Excite Bike. I'd like to see
Yeah.
Excite Bike come back.
Let's see. It was developed by Taito.
Oh, Taito.
Yeah.
Okay, that those guys sound familiar. They did like a bunch of shooting. They did a bunch of space shooters.
Hmm.
But if I wanted to bring an IP back, I'd probably just say Excite Bike because I never see anything from it anymore.
I think the one particular IP I would love to see return is, oh boy, there's so many IPs Nintendo hasn't touched. Um, I want to see like a new Wario Land title.
Oh, Wario. Yeah, Wario kind of gets like the short end of the stick. Him and Waluigi.
I'm still waiting for Nintendo just to unleash like a new Wario Land, but it takes elements from the previous ones that were good and just puts them on the Switch.
Yeah, because I was thinking like a Wario game or Wario can be done really good now, or a WarioWare could be done pretty good now. I could see them trying to do something with it.
They actually did make a WarioWare title for the 3DS.
Oh, that's weird. I never heard of that one.
They called it WarioWare Gold.
That is that is weird. Um, yeah, I'm just looking up a list of Nintendo franchises just to see what else we got. Um, hold up. Do does Rhythm Heaven even exist anymore?
Uh, well, I'll answer your question in a moment. I need to get a drink.
Same here, actually. I was just about to say.
back.
Yeah, I same here. I'm back. But where was I? Oh yeah, Rhythm Heaven. I never see games about that. Or yeah, I never see Rhythm Heaven without like old gameplays or gameplay of it from like their console on the Wii.
Let's see. Wow, wow. They have not a lot of titles Rhythm Heaven.
Yeah, it's first like it's a rhythm game, but I just find like some of the songs they do like just like they're just really catchy. And I was thinking, yo, they could do something really good for like a future title.
Man, it would be nice to see like well, well, a new Punch Out title.
Yeah, Punch Out. Well, yeah, I would like to see that. Just like because I've been getting a lot of uh like animes about like martial arts lately. I was thinking maybe Punch Out would be a good transition to that. Speaking of, do you ever hear those um those videos of people who try to play Punch Out blind?
Yeah,
Like, no, I was just asking if you heard them, but I was just thinking how crazy it must be where it's like they literally took the example of, oh, I could beat this with my eyes closed way too seriously.
I actually have heard of those videos, but I wonder, has anyone actually succeeded in playing the game with blindfolded?
What? Well, they got through like some like because the way they do it through like sound cues and stuff like that. So it's like you hear a certain sound, you know when to like dodge, you know when to hit and stuff like that. And they've been able to get pretty far. It's just I think the farthest I see someone got was like Piston Honda. I don't know about Mike Tyson though. That's like a completely different beast.
Phew, that sounds a little disturbing.
Yeah, like if you're kind of a masochist if you want to play any game blindfold, if you ask me. But these guys are doing it, and these guys succeeded, which I got nothing but props for them.
Yeah, yeah. Props to those guys.
Uh, yeah. Like I said, I really wasn't expecting to do super early, but um, never mind. When do you want to end this? Just
Uh, we,
ask me.
well, we can end this now if you want.
Nah, I mean, you talk a little more. It's just I kind of ran out of things to talk about because we already got through the what we were talking about earlier um in like 5 seconds, and then it just like derailed off of that. But I don't know. Is there anything else you just want to talk about?
No, I got nothing.
Same here. So dang, I guess this is the end. Like we've been talking for so long that my voice started to get like a little raspy. So that's probably a good indicator.
Well, yeah, you probably should. We should probably end this just to make sure you don't lose your voice.
All right. Well, anyway, it's been nice to have you on the podcast. I might I might as well just open up a Discord just to like um get people to recognize us more.
It would be nice. I could use the income. I could use the audience as an artist.
Same here. So yeah, I guess this is the end of the podcast, and I guess I'll see you around.
Yeah, I'll be seeing you. Take care, South.
Okay, so that was a very premature ending. So what happened was that after our other host, CLXCool, left the chat, um, my my charger for my laptop accidentally sort of like fizzed out. I just shut down my computer. So yeah, I didn't want to end it that quickly. And if you're watching this, I just want to say thank you for sticking around. Thanks for watching to the end, and I'll see you around. Just on my Twitter at ripvanslime. That's RIPVANSLYME, and follow CLXCool's Twitter. And that's about it. I'm glad you were able to say bye. And I guess this is the end. I'll see you guys around.